Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at the new Thermaltake CT120EX ARGB sync. These are new out from Thermaltake and have actually improved on the CT120 and CT140 fans, which actually come pre-installed in a lot of Thermaltake cases, like you'll see behind me. They have added a new feature, which I think is something which is going to be a game changer for a lot of people, and it hasn't added a great deal of cost. So in today's video, we'll go through, do an unboxing, see what they're all about, give you a demonstration of the fans, talk about some of their specifications, and maybe they might be right for you. Keep watching to find out more. So we'll start off with one of the key differences between the CT140s and the CT140EX. If you follow Thermaltake for any length of time, you'll know that the EX range have some pretty special features, including magnetic connections and also one cable to connect up all your fans. So you can quite happily daisy chain them in a long line with minimal cabling. And the magnetic section is absolutely brilliant. You can just connect or disconnect fans at will and they just work. Now, some of this is down to the improvements they've made into their magnetic technology. We've now got the Magforce 2.0 connection, which actually has twice the size of the pad's connectivity. So previously the pad was a little bit smaller, whereas now on these new ones, if we take a look on the side, you can see the actual connection pads are significantly larger, which makes it a lot easier for them to get a connection, especially if you've got these perhaps connected to a radiator and there's a little bit of unevenness to the radiator. These larger pads will help to rectify any problems you may have with connectivity. And of course, the key thing for me personally is the magnetic connection. So we've got one magnetic connection with two cables coming out of it, one for your PWM control, one for your addressable RGB, and you just snap it on and your fans will start working. So whether or not you're just going to use one fan on its own, maybe you're going to use two in a 240 rad, a 360, or perhaps you're going to go a little bit further than that and actually go the whole hog and maybe connect up six together. The choice effectively is down to you and obviously how deep your pockets are. So the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed there's actually two different types of these, and actually we should rewind this a little bit. So there's actually a lot of different versions of these available for you. So you have the CT120EX, you also have the CT140EX, and obviously that relates to either a 120mm fan or a 140mm fan, as we had with the previous CT range. But also we've got some cool new colors as well. Currently at the time of recording, there are actually 4 colors available. The white ones that we have here, or snow as they're otherwise known. There's a black set, there's also the matcha green, and also, of course, being this is Thermaltake's 25-year anniversary, there's also the hydrangea blue. Now, if that wasn't enough to wet your whistle, there's also 2 versions of the actual fan blades themselves. So you either have the traditional airflow blades, as you'd expect to see here, which is your normal thing for radiators, case fans, or even perhaps on a CPU cooler. But we also have the new reverse blades as well. So these are actually reverse blades, so if you're using one of those new very popular fish tank style cases and you want to have some reverse airflow in your case, so the reverse blades work in essentially exactly the same way. There are some slight downsides with the reverse blades, as is the norm with these because of the way that they work and physics and all that kind of stuff. They have got a slightly lower static pressure, and also they do make a little bit more noise. We'll put the specs up on the screen so you can see what the specs are. Whilst we're discussing the specs, let's take a look at the packaging. So in terms of how they come through in nice Thermaltake packaging, as you expect, and it tells you which ones they are. So this is the reverse blade. These are packs of 3. Pricing will be in the video description, so check those links out. Some of them may be affiliated, so we may earn a small commission from any purchases made, but it won't cost you anything else, and also it's a good way of helping out the channel. So CTEX reverse, and also CT120EX ARGB sync, the standard version. So in this particular version, you've got 2.95mm H2O static pressure and a maximum noise of 28.5 dBA, PWM range between 500 and 2000 RPM. When it comes to the reverse blade version, you've got slightly less on the H2O, so 1.87mm H2O, and a slightly higher noise profile at 31.2 dBA, but you do have exactly the same PWM range between 500 and 2000 RPM. Something else I should add as well, for those of you that are interested, due to the fact that the RPM range between 500 and 2000 RPM, you think maybe they might be a little bit on the noisy side. I'm very happy to say the new improved designs on here, including the frame, the anti-vibration mounts, and also the fluid dynamic bearing, that makes these very, very quiet indeed and borderline silent until you get up to some of the higher RPMs, which realistically most people won't, at least not for extended periods. Now obviously, like I said previously, the standard airflow ones are a little bit quieter. There is a little bit of an increase in noise with the reverse ones, but again, they are essentially pretty much silent, especially at anything up to around about 1000 to 1200 RPM. After that, you can just hear a very slight noise because there is a lot of air passing through them, as you'd expect. But overall, again, the improvements in the design have made these much, much quieter than the previous CT120s and CT140s, which I liked a lot. Some of the features which are equal on all of these are the new improved fan frame, so very, very stiff and rigid. This is going to help to keep the fan blades from wobbling, all that kind of stuff. We've got new bearings in here as well, which are fluid dynamic, and also they've included mounting hardware on the sides, so completely rubberized in all four corners on both sides, again to reduce vibrations. Taking a closer look, again, this is how it connects. So on one side you've got the pads, again these are the Magforce 2, which are twice the size of the originals, which again really does help for connectivity issues. On this side we've got the spring-loaded pogo pins, which match up. As we said before, this is all magnetic, and the magnets are actually improved as well. So these seem to me to be considerably stronger, so they really do smash themselves together. So there's a lot of pressure there, and actually to even pull them apart it does require a little bit more effort than the previous version. So in my mind that is a serious improvement. I think they've done a fantastic job with these, I really do. So let's take a look at what we get inside of the accessories box. So as you'd expect from Thermaltake, get some really nice, clear and concise instructions, but to be honest with you, they're relatively idiot proof. You also get 3 packs of screws, both in the longer radiator mounting screws and also your traditional case fan screws. The only thing I would have liked to have seen here really is, being that these are white fans, I would have liked to have seen either the kind of highly polished metal or maybe even white screws, which might fit in a little bit nicer, but I think that's a very minor quibble. When it comes to connectivity, so a lot of these fans on the market, which you can find from other retailers and other stockists, quite often they are pretty good and they look good, but there's generally going to be a downside, and quite often that is the connectivity. And what Thermaltake have done here, rather than just having one cable in there and assuming you're going to connect all the fans together, they actually supply you with 3 individual sets of cabling. So if you want to have maybe one fan at the front, one at the top and one at the back, you definitely can do. But if you want to link them all together in either a 240 or 360, 420 or however much you want to do, whatever you can fit in your case, the choice is going to be down to you, but you do have all the cables included straight out of the box. Another nice thing as well, if for some reason you don't have many RGB headers on your particular motherboard, there is actually a pass-through as well for the RGB. So if you want to daisy chain a few more, you can do. Obviously, do be careful on your RGB headers just to make sure they're capable of delivering enough power to all of the connected devices. So I think that pretty much covers everything about the new Thermaltake CT120EX. The only thing left really is for me to play with these again. I really do love this setup. So we've got our connections there. I haven't got it connected to a motherboard, just a cheap GameMax ARGB controller. Actually, there's a link for that in the video description also. And again, it's really easy. Just snap the connection on and it flows with the RGB. Now, also something you'll notice here as well, these actually appear to have like a pass-through. So rather than being just replicating the same over and over, as you'll see from the CT140s we've got in the PC behind us, so those actually just replicate exactly the same RGB on every individual fan. Whereas with this, depending on how many you connect up, the RGB actually flows through. So these are making one continual digital signal. So in effect, even though there are 9 addressable RGBs actually on the fan, this makes it 18, this makes it 27, etc, etc. So as far as your system is concerned, this is one continual strip rather than being 3 individuals. So you can have some slightly nicer lighting effects. As you can see here, we've got the flow going from one fan through to the other, which I think actually looks a lot prettier and is very similar to other fans that we have from Arctic, which have previously been very popular as well. So I think overall, Thermaltake have done a very good job of these. These fans do appear to be basically perfect. The only thing that some people may not appreciate is the price. They're not overly expensive, and they're not actually that much more expensive than the other CT120s or CT140s. You do pay a very slight price premium, but for the addition of having a very uprated construction quality, better fans, better airflow, better dynamic pressure, and also the very cool magnetic connection, making wiring significantly easier. I think these are definitely worth a look. But what I think about them isn't important, what you think about it is. So let me know in the comment section what you think of these new Thermaltake CT120 EX ARGB sync fans. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. But I think that's going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have, smash that like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.